Art students, Brian Proctor, the art teacher, back again with another lesson. And this one is about doing, it just jumped right out of my head, sequential art. Yes, this is about doing sequential art panel work, because a lot of people out there, a lot of artists out there, if you're anything into comic books, you have a bunch of characters that you drew up over and over again, and you're thinking about putting them into a comic book. So this is how you do, and you start your sequential art. Yeah. So in this video, I just lost it for a second. It just was out there. In this video, I talked to you about doing panel work, how to start and how it should end. So without me rambling on, and we're going to go to the video as soon as I show you my neat little shirt that I got from Ken Customs. This is my avatar. So if you've seen the video, this is what you get from Ken Custom, not Customs, Custom. So this is online, and a lot of other shirts that I've done are online to buy. I'm not going to push you and say, oh, go buy the shirt, but I might put the website up there just so you can see what I've done, and that you can do the same thing if you have characters and designs as well. So yeah, let's go get into the video and show you how to do some sequential artwork. All right, let's talk about sequential art real quick. Yeah, you say that. Okay, so first of all, what is sequential art? Sequential art is art drawn in a sequence in order to tell a story, plain and simple. So let's say you have character. Everybody has a character. So let's say you have like 4 characters that you want to do your comic book about. You've never done a comic book. You don't know anything about sequential art, but you want to learn. So you have these 4 characters that you've drawn them over and over and over, just in pinups. So now you want to basically bring them to life into a comic book. And by the way, these are characters of my friends, mine, which you recognize, the Samurai Clown. And these were characters of my friends back in the day when we had our little comic book company. And so I'm just using them as an example. Now, the first thing you have to do is you say you want to do your characters in a comic book. You have to have a story, number one. You already have the characters. I'm assuming you have them all fleshed out and you know their background, how they got the powers and so forth and so on. And let me still this camera because it is in focus mode. So let me lock it in lock focus mode. All right, so as I said, you have your character down. You know everything about your character. That's number one. That's the hard part out the way. Number two, you have to have a story. So I'm assuming that you have a story already. Now, how long is that story going to be? How many issues? Is it going to be 1 issue? Is it going to be 10 issues? You should not just drag a story out, especially if it's your first time. Don't drag it out to like 100 issues. Do 5, maybe 10 issues, and then stop it and then see where it goes to. So let's say you've got your first book all written out. Now you have to say how many pages in that first book. And usually I think a book is about 12 pages. So out of the 12 pages, 2 pages or 2 drawings make 1 page. So you have to have a drawing and a drawing. Every time you flip the comic book page, you have another drawing on the back. So that's 24 pages of drawings that you have to do. 24 pages now. You have to keep that up every month, every bi-monthly, however you want to do your book. So again, and I keep using that word so. All right, then so your next step is going to be how many panels per page. You have to have the 11 by 17 paper. So when it shrinks down to comic book size. So you have to have, I keep saying so. Now then, you have to have your number of panels you want on a page. Usually I try not to do more than 6 panels per page. And let me shrink this down a little bit. No, let me just slide it up. And this was something I did for a Marvel tryout. I never really sent it in. I don't know why I didn't send it in, but I didn't want to send it in. Maybe it was a fear of, what's the word? Deadlines. As a fear of deadlines, because when you're getting paid, you have to produce. So you have to think about how many panels you want to do per page. And then you say to yourself, which is going to be the most exciting panel, or which one brings the most action to the book. So as I say, 6 pages, 6 panels are usually my limit for doing a page. Now you can go 8, 10, 15 panels, but the more panels you do, the more smaller they become. If you're doing something like this, just faces, then you can get away with doing panels all day long. But it can be done. It can be done. I've seen it where somebody had an expression and it just changed like 10 or 15 times, which is cool. I mean, that's a good idea. But you can't do that on every page. So you want to have a nice big splash, kind of a splash panel and other panels to go with it. All right, so, and is it so again? I guess I'm stuck with the word so. Let's start to put these guys in motion. All right, so you have so. You get a penny for every time I say the word so. I'll turn it this way. You have 4 guys. Do you want to have all 4 in the panel, every panel? Let's just say something simple like a discussion. Let me move this. They're going to have a discussion. I'm not going to draw these guys in detail, but I'm looking for something like my glasses. Let's just do this. Okay, these are my 4 guys. They're standing around. Let's say they're having a discussion about something. The first thing you have to do when you do your panels or when you do your page is figure out, let's say this is my 11 by 17. You want to figure out your panel positioning, and that's by your story. You always want to leave, you always want to end off in a book, and I covered this in my last video. You always want to end off with a cliffhanger in a book with a cliffhanger. I don't know why I'm trying to erase this. I don't have an eraser. So you have to finish, you have to figure out, sorry, my voice is going out, how my panels are going to be. So let's just say this, 2, 4, 5. Let's just go 5 panels. And all of this is going to be discussion. So you figure out who's talking first, who's talking second, the whole 9 yards. You have your dialogue, so you already know that. And what you're going to have to do is turn these. And if you watch a cartoon, and I say that, if you watch a cartoon without on mute, and you get a better idea of how they change scenes and turn things around so that you can better understand what's going on. So let's just do a simple thing, which a lot of beginners do. You have 2 people straight on. Here's the nose, and they're talking. Okay, that's cool. That could be done, but you want to get it more exciting. So after that, you have to figure out, now how can I twist this to make this even more exciting, because you have 2 people talking, and you just don't want 2 people face to face, side by side. And I'm doing this a little darker because in the monitor it looks a little light. So the best thing to do is just the same way that you take a selfie. You know how you hold a camera up and you positioning that camera to you can get the best picture, and that's the same thing you have to do with people. Now, if you have figures, that's a good thing. Let me show you. If you happen to have figures, and it doesn't have to be these kind of figures, it could be just any type of figure that can work, because you do, and you look at it visually. You look at it, and I need to visually look at it with the camera. You need to be able to see them, and you need to be able to turn them around in your eye the same way that you would do with a camera as you're taking a video of yourself. That means being up more, or down more, down shot more, flip up. It's hard to do this and then talk at the same time. And I just happen to have a gun and a sword in this. I switched his hands, and I was trying to figure out which hand held the gun and which hand held the sword. So that's why he's got the sword. I just never really took him out, because I just leave him standing around with the fist on. And they come with a bunch of hands, and maybe I'll get into that at the end of the video. But in your mind's eye, it's best to be able to see these things rotate, and then close-ups, because you don't always need to draw the whole body every time. You don't need to draw the whole body every time. It's nice to do sometimes, especially if you want to see like the uniform or the background where they are. But for every panel, you don't have to do that. So if these 2 guys are talking, and let's just say this guy has something more important to say, a close-up. Anytime you do a close-up, that has that meaning of importance. The closer it is, the more important it is for the reader, or that meaning. So now we've got this guy. So now it's this guy's turn to talk. And you could either do it like this side, and you'll know because this guy's on the right, so he's on the right side, and this guy's on the left, so he can be on the left side. You can do it that way and just have it, but it also depends on your panel count. How many panels are you going to do? So let's just change this around a little bit more. Let's just say it's this guy's turn to talk. So let's just completely turn this around like this. So now I've got this guy here, but he's still talking to this guy. So let's put this guy in the foreground like that. I don't know what he's saying, but now you have this guy and he's still talking to his friend. Now he might not say anything, but if you do, his speech bubble can't come first because you're going to read from left to right. So you have to have this guy here. And if this guy wants to talk, then it'll come down here. But you have to continue to rotate your camera every time you change the scene. Every time you change panels, it's best to rotate it, because if I had this here, it's not any good. And a lot of people always draw from that straight on. Your vanishing point is always here in the center, and I was guilty of that, doing it for the longest. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you also want to vary your points, your vanishing point, and that should be one of the things that you do first, is find out where your background is, if you can see the background. And a lot of that is depending on, like, you can see the top of this guy's shoulders, or the back, the top of this guy's shoulders. This guy, so you know it's going to be down. It's going to be coming down, or the point is going to be up here because you're seeing the back. So it would come something like that, and then you can put your wall or your furniture or whatever in. And that's something that it's really hard for me to do, is to establish where my vanishing point is first. Because as you see here, I see the image in my head and then I draw. So let's get back to being sequentially artists. All right, so now he could continue to talk, or this guy can switch talking again, or a third person can come into the room. So let's just say, and I'm thinking, how am I going to bring that third person into the room? All right, so here's my door right here. So this is going to be like more of a down shot. So here comes the third person coming into the room. And here are the other two talking. So you know that's a down shot. And he's like, hey fellas, what's up? What's up? What's going on? So bring in the third person. Now, let's just do this. Let's draw another panel in here. And I saw it for a second. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. All right, so now here's my third person right here. So here's the back of these guys' heads. You can show the shoulder. Let's just show the shoulder a little bit in the front. So this guy, this is his chest right here, shoulder. So I made it so this guy, he came in and he turned his neck, because they were deep in a conversation right here. So this guy turned his neck to see him, and since he was already facing him, you don't need any more of that. You don't need to do anything to him. Like so. So now we have that. Let's go do one more panel. Okay, now you can have like 3 guys having separate conversations, which you would split the panel in half. It depends on your dialogue, because you can put whoever's going to say something first, he could be one side, which is the same thing as here. Whoever's going to say something, he could be on the other side, or he could be there, and then the new guy could be like in the middle, just in the middle panel. Or this guy could say something first, the guy on the left, the guy in the middle could say something, And then the guy on the right could say something after that. Now, as I say, it depends on your dialogue, or if you want to bring the fourth person in. Let me erase the mess I just made. As I say, all this is dialogue. It's not action, because you have to have dialogue eventually in your comic book, because it can't all be action, 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 because there's no life to a character. And when you draw a character, you have to have some kind of life to him. And the way you bring that is by his supporting people that are around him, like his friends, family, whoever. You have to show how they relate to him, and if he's like happy all the time, or if he's angry all the time. So his supporting staff helps him, or help us, the reader, to see and understand who that character is. So let's just say this is one panel here is going to be the 4 people. So we have the 3. We can go another route this way and throw a 4th person, but I want to try something else. So let's do this. Say this is the head, the back of the head of the fourth person. He just came in. So let's say the top of the head is here. So we're going to keep everybody's top of their heads. So we're going to have one here, and then just say one here. And that's a way to keep people in perspective. You either chins, if they're on the same plane, either the chin should line up, the top of the head, the eyes, all of that should line up. So if I put another character back here, let's just say here's his eyes. The eyes should be right here on the other character, and then they're both the same height, same size, unless he's a little kid or something, a little smaller. It looks like he's got his hand on his face because he loves him. So we have this guy here, and then this guy here, and then we could have him angled. We could have him turned like he was not facing him, or everybody could have faced him, depending on the dialogue that or the story, depending on the story. So with this one, I would actually like that, and then show some shoulders on the guy, instead of just showing the head. And the head could still be here, top of the head could still be here, and then his ears. So let me ink this just for the fun of it. Just because. So you have in panel 1, you have this guy here. Actually, they were supposed to be facing each other, but I just put his line, his center line right there. So they're both at an angle. And this is really rough inking, okay? So don't fault me. Next one is here. A little bit of neck. Now, if he's gesturing, you can have like the hand up here somewhere, just to break the blank space here, and then he can still have his word balloons. And I talked about this in my video before this, if I'm not mistaken. Don't try to do a lot of detail. Like I could have did the room, I could have did the wall back here. And then here's the doorway. The guy's going to come through later. And I could have did a nice, whatever, table or something here. And a nice little picture right here. And then it could have been like a family picture, a nice photo. But so if I do all of this and do the family, and they're on vacation, and the sun was shining, and the birds were overhead, of course, it just all got chopped up when I did this word balloon. So knowing where your word balloons are, your word bubbles, whatever you want to call it, knowing where you're going to place them, don't try to put a lot of detail into it. It's good to kind of rough it. Like this is my final page here, I would rough it. If I get everybody together in here, then I would just lightly rough it. So that way I would say, okay, there's no need for me to draw any detail past, a certain point. All right, so we have this third one. And he's going this way. And then we have this guy here. Now see, I could do the shirt and the wrinkles and all that, but this is going to cut it. This is going to cut it. This is going to cut it. Like that. So as I say, you can have the room and all of that back here, the door, because this guy's about to come into the door anyway. Back there, your dialogue here. Remember, first person to speak, first balloon. You have to put it up, left to right. Then we have the guy coming through the door. What's up, fellas? What's going on? We superheroes and all. We're going to go out there and kick some bad guy booty later. We're just waiting for the fourth member to show up. He's in the bathroom. You know, he had a little bit of diarrhea, so he'll be out in a minute. It's like, oh, diarrhea again? What's with this guy? What has he been eating? All them chili dogs. So this guy can be like, man, I'm sick of this guy and his diarrhea. That's why he got his hands on his hips. And he's like, no, man, it was something else. It's something else. Somebody cooked him a good meal, and he got a new girlfriend. She cooked him a good meal, but, you know, obviously she's just a terrible cook. This guy's like, what? He turned his head. He got a girlfriend? How did he get a girlfriend? He's married. So, yeah, that's the little turn right there. And he could be like, you didn't know? Because he's already turned that way. So then, now, on the fourth panel, the guy could come out. He's like, oh, man, I'm sorry, you know, little case of the runs. So I'm good now. We can go out and look for some bad guys and kick their butts. So everybody's staring at him like, man, you didn't zip your pants up. Or something, you know. That's just how I roll. And I always do the clothespin kind of guy to do quick when I'm placing my characters in. I always do that. This is basically drawing a box, rectangle, bring the legs up as far as I need it, throw the head in and some pointy arms, and then if I want to actually rough it out, I'll bring the waist in and then back out, make the legs a little smaller, make the arms from big to small. Give a little triangle on top of the neck, put the neck in the triangle, like that. And just flesh it out like that. And then you can, especially if the characters are small, like this size, then you don't really need that much detail. But it's just a quick way for me to do, and you can like try that. It's easy to place boxes, you know, where you need your boxes to be. And if it happens to be an overhead shot, then you want to do the top of your boxes. And basically that would represent the top of your shoulders. And then you just put the head on top of that. If it's an undershot, like that, bottom of your box, your head is going to be here somewhere. And that would be the same thing, your chest, your arms, your abs. But you still have to curve it out a little bit more. Curve it in and out a little bit more, the crotch and then the legs like that. So just use your boxes more. And that's why I tell people to over and over, I say, practice your square, circle, and triangle. Circle's not going to really change no matter how you turn it or flip it. But you have to know how to manipulate your boxes and your triangles, your rectangles, before you can become a great drawer. If you're not doing that, then I'm sorry, I said it before, I'm sorry, you will never become a great drawer until you learn how to manipulate all of this stuff. Because this is all this is a character, is just this. Boxes and cylinders, or a person, squares and cylinders, and you can over and over and over again. So on your free time, just do that. All right. Let me pause this for a second and get my thoughts back together, because I just jumped off the subject. So let me do this. I'm not gonna pause. I'm gonna pause it in a second. Let me do this. There's your panels. Let's make it look more like a comic book. And there you have page 1. Now, what did I say? 23 more pages to go. So this is basically, when you have your dialogue, you have your people, that is a good way to establish your character's, I forgot one, your character's personality and also his relationship with the other people. And, you know, it's not all going to be action, fighting, punching, so forth and so on. These guys are like everybody else. They have to eat and sleep and drink and you know, go out and go home and wash dishes, whatever. Unless you have just an alien character that we know nothing about. All right, let's do one more page real quick. All right, now I'm making this up in my head, so it's going to be really rough. Here's your next page. I want to keep this video way under 40 minutes. And I usually just draw this little big panel, big rectangle to, as I say, represent, if I even said it, to represent my 11 by 17 sheet. Okay, we got the 4 guys here. They're talking. They came in. Let's go back to this. They came into the room, so they're all together. So we're going to skip this guy walking up and being close to them. But what we're going to have now is a big panel here. And this one is going to be, let's just say, the villain busting into the wall, busting into the room. So yeah, he crashed through the wall. Where these guys were, the room where these guys were talking. Big muscular kind of villain, of course, you know. That's how villains roll. So it's like, boom, here's some more trash flying. And the more detail you add to a panel, the better it will become. But you don't have to add detail to every panel. So let's just say this guy crashed through the brick wall. You study your bricks. Study your bricks. You have 2 and you have a center one over here. So bricks are like this. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You have a center, and then this one is falling on the same line as this. Like that. So yeah, that's how you do bricks. But doing more detail, bricks have that little, I don't want to say mortar in between each one of them. They just don't sit flat. Each brick has the, I want to say, is it called mortar? But anyway, it's the little concrete, that holds them so together. So every time you do bricks, and this messed me up. So what's the next one? You have to have that in between, remembering keeping them in the center. Keep them centered. Yeah, so that's bricks. So whenever you do bricks, you can have bricks flying, or it's got bust through, so you have your little bricks, and of course, they're going to be square, they're going to be chipped and broken, so forth and so on. So he's like, I found you guys. Let's get my little Cyclops glasses. So now we got the panel 1, and this is where I'm going to split it, since I didn't split it in the other one. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we got 1, 2. You can do them all just headshots, or you can do like close-ups like that. Headshot, closer, and maybe no, you want far. You still want you can do a left and a right, center, other center, or close-up, however. But you want for this, I want the whole expression. So this guy's like, they're like, holy crap, what was that? So each one of them is going to have, I'm going to turn his face this way. They're going to have that expression, because he could have turned his body. He could, facing the other way. This guy could be more of a down angle, like that. Because you don't always have to have everything straight up and down. A lot of times it's better to have that. It's more exciting to have something at a down angle. So if I did a car, I'm trying to think like this. Here's my car. But then, let's do that car a little better, Brian. My car like that, hopefully you can see that. But then if I had put that car like on a down angle, I don't even know what I'm doing right now with this whole car thing, because I hadn't planned on doing a car. Like this. It looks a little cooler than a straight on shot. do this, mess it up even more. So when you put your people on like downward slopes, or just angle them to where they're not just straight up and down, it looks a little cooler versus just straight up and down like this. And that could have been at a more harder angle, but hopefully you understand what I'm saying. It just looks better. So okay, so we have the for surprise. Let's just say this is his back. So he turned. His mouth is open. Oh my God, he found us. And this guy's like, well, they're all surprised. They're gonna say he was ready to attack, but he's gonna be surprised too, because the one that he's with is his girlfriend. So yeah, we keep that to the story. And he's like, oh no. Yeah, so it's his fault that this monster is busting in. And then eyebrows tell the whole story. And so he would have been sorry right there. That was more of a sorry. Just like the other guy. Maximum file reach. Let me pause this and remove what's in my camera because my camera's full. All right, so I'm back again. So now we have that. He burst through the wall, which is a big panel because we want him to see that. We have all 4 expressions. So we chopped them up, the little ones. We didn't need to see their bodies. He just turned. His shoulder's going to be right here. His back is here, so his shoulder's going to be right here. There's just his neck. And this guy, because he's the one that caused it all, we just show a large picture of his face. So we have that. Now, the next scene could be that these guys are ready. They ready themselves. I'm trying to think what would be a good scene. Okay, these guys surprised. So let's just say this. He ran, and make this a big scene, a bigger scene here. This is going to hold it all together. So this guy ran. I have to picture it in my head because I said I can't draw scenes or positions without seeing it in my head. Let's see, where's the other guy? So, like this. So his shoulder should be here, his head will be here, shoulder would be like right here. He tackled this guy. He ran in, he saw him, he tackled this guy. So his back is here, his butt is here, and his leg would be here. One would be here. Maybe the other one would be sticking out here. He tackled that guy. So we got back, shoulder, arm is around him. The other arm is around him. So it's better to have this leg. You have this back, his torso, and these are circles. This leg is going to come straight. This leg is going to come out and back. And I'll try to ink that and make it a little better for you guys. So he tackled this guy. Now, I could have had a front tackle, but he came in from the front. So I did a side one because. And then the next one would be, it could be reactions from his friends, or his friends could be getting ready to help. So let's do that. So now his friends see that this guy just got tackled. Well, with something like that, okay, he ran up and he kind of tackled the guy. So the next possible, or the next step should be where he slammed him into a wall, he threw him on the ground, he jumped out the window with him. So that should be the next panel without having to go too far. And one of the things about doing sequential art is that you have to be able to tell a story. You can tell the story, you can tell it either really slow or you can tell it either really quick. And I did not lock my focus again. 1 second. All right. As I said, now this conversation could have been drug out a whole lot, but it depends on, as I said, your story and how many pages you're going to have and how much room you want to put on the panel. So this guy got tackled. I have no idea at this point what happens. So let's just do this. He tackled the guy. He picked the guy. Let's just say he ran through another hole in the wall. So let's see what I can do with this. Well, I actually want to have him front faced. All right. So let's just add another panel. So he ran through another wall. Boom. He crashed through the wall and took his friend because he's going to take him to the park and beat the snot out of him. Okay, here's my wall. He crashed. Now, when you do have a wall is not thin, a wall is thick. So here you should have the side of your wall right there. And then maybe a few bricks dropping, after, because he just ran out. So this is crumbling, it's still crumbling, some bricks on the ground, like that. So he ran through, and you can have like the motion lines that shows that he quickly ran through the bricks. So this next panel is the guys like, oh my God, he took Joe. And so now that these guys are coming. So now, they get their little running stance because they have to help Joe. It's 3, yeah, so it's 3. So one could be in the front, one could be in the back, and one could be further back. Let's just say this guy, he's got his swords. Now, you want to, depending on what you do, you don't want to cover up your other people. So he's got the sword here and here. He drew his swords. He's running. Which leg is going to be first? Since this leg is first, which is the left leg? Yeah, reversed. Whatever, this leg. So we're going to have this leg second and this leg bent, this leg straight. And then we have the third guy. Let's just maybe this guy can fly. So he's now flying. So if he can fly, he should have been the first one, but no, he's not. He's not. We have the shoulder, the delts, the bicep, the whatever arm, and then the hands here. All right, so yeah. Now, that could be a great cliffhanger, an ending, because we know that after the long conversation and so forth and so on, now the villain shows up, boom, he busts in, he scares everybody, or he shocks everybody, takes a guy, runs out. These guys have to go help him. Now, if it ended there, you'd be like, how's he going to help him? How's he going to help him? So, of course, you would want to go and buy the next book. So, you always leave your books on a cliffhanger. Especially your last panel. Now, had this not been the biggest panel, this would be the biggest panel, or this would be the second biggest panel. Yeah. Unless I showed the feet and all that, and you can, depending, if this is like the first view of this character, it's kind of good to show the entire body of the character so that we, the reader, will know what this guy looks like. So a quick ink. I'm sorry for the silence. So this guy is like heebie-jeebie muscular. And as I said, he got the little Cyclops glasses on and a little crazy hair because he's mad. He got up this morning and he didn't comb his hair because he found out this guy was like, his woman was cheating with this guy who was like a superhero. So now I'm a bad guy. I turned into a supervillain to get revenge from this guy. And then here's my wall. Remember your wall, you should see some sides of your wall, depending on the angle of your wall. And then there's my bricks. And we got some bricks crumbling right here because it's just falling. And it's good to put something in front of your character because it just looks better when little stuff is in front of your character, or in line with your character right here. Just don't cover his face up. Like that. And then here's my other part of my wall. And I know people are like, how did he come up with that real quick and draw that quick? I've just been doing this forever. I started out just helping people because I wasn't really sure of my skills. or I wasn't there yet, should I say, I'm ready to do my own book. So if I draw something that I really don't care about, then it comes out a lot better. So I was helping people, you know, because there was their story. I was just helping them. I didn't really care about their characters and so forth. I just wanted to develop my skills. So the more I drew, the better I get. And that's what I say to people. The more you draw, the better you get. And this guy's like, holy crap, it's him. Not that I didn't care to draw. I love drawing, but if I stick my tongue out and like, I gotta get this just right. No, it was never like that. It was like, okay, you need me to draw your book, or you want me to draw your book for you? Okay, no problem. So I would draw it. I would always do a good job, but I didn't put so much into it as I would do my own book. So it's like the stuff that I really didn't care too much about, I always did a better job, but I just drew and drew and drew and drew. I could pull out dozens and dozens and dozens of papers of characters and things that I drew, and a lot of it's for people, because just about everybody that I drew for never went anywhere with the drawing, and that's why I don't really draw for people anymore. Because if you don't have a game plan, like if you don't have a plan to advertise or do anything like that, then you're telling me that you just have this idea for this like one little book, and it's not really going anywhere. So it's not really for me to, you know, put my all into this book, because it's not going anywhere. But if you came to me and said, Brian, I want you to draw my book. I'm going to pay you this much, pay you well. And then what I want to do is my uncle owns a whatever advertising company, and we're going to do this. I'm going to put the book here. We're going to advertise here. We're going to advertise in, and we're going to make some toys. Then I'm like, yeah, all right, I'm all in. I'm all in, dude. But most people are just, I have an idea for a book, and can you draw it for me? And I'm like, you know, I'm working on my own books. Sorry, because it takes a lot to do a book, and then bring it out every month. So yeah, these are the guys like, what? And so this guy, let's see if I can do with this guy. What I can do with this guy. He's got the glasses on. The shoulder. So that other arm is going to be like right here. What did I say? No, I said this leg was going to go first. And then the other half of the buttocks, which I kind of screwed up. There, and the other foot here. So he's got the arm around this guy. This guy's shoulder is about right here. How did I have it? So I had the arm over this guy right here. And that's something you have to work on. Like when you do characters entangled, you have to work on that so you can get the body right. And it's best to draw on tracing paper. You can draw the character, like if I drew this guy right here on one piece of tracing paper, and then I put another piece of tracing paper over top of it, and then drew the other guy that he's grabbing, it would fit. And if it doesn't fit, then you can always adjust it, you know, in the tracing paper. So we got this arm here. He's got his arm on his back. He ran out. Let's put some clothes on the guy so he won't be naked. So this is this foot right here, this leg right here. So this one is here, and I can put a little shadow. It shows that's the back foot. Yeah, and this guy's like, help me, somebody. So yeah, and we got the room here. Maybe he knocked over a table to get this guy. He's knocking over furniture. Always think detail when you do stuff. Maybe he knocked over a chair. The chair is like this. Bottom of the chair. You have to have your action line, you know, your table flying, your chair flying right there. And then if you wanted to, you can have the actual brick wall, the actual wall right here. This is the wall he's going to bust through. Here's your ground. Whatever on the wall pictures, and remember, dialogue, so he could say something now. So that picture would not be in detail. He's like, I got you now, I got you. And this guy would be like, please help me. H-E-L-P. I can't write and think at the same time. That's hard for me to do. So then it's like a crash. K-R-A-S-H, crash. And the crash would be like, you know, crashy lines, if you can find that kind of crashy lines. If not, draw it. And then, of course, your wall. Rubble falling from the top of the wall, rubble on the ground. And that determines what you put in it, determines the timing. Like, if I have like a few pieces of rubble just falling, that means he already went through the wall maybe like 10 seconds ago, 20 seconds ago. If I have the big pieces flying back, that means he just crashed through the wall. So you can use little things to tell people the timing of stuff. Like if I drew somebody that was hit by a car, I could either have the guy like this being hit already, or I could have the guy laying here, or let's put him way back here. And then you know the car already hit him. It's like a timing thing. So you do these little indications of timing. So now we've got the heroes. Let's go save Charlie. Or was his name Bill or John? I don't know. Hard to keep up with this stuff. So it's like this. And this guy's flying. This is chest, arm, this part of the arm. And then this hand. This hand here. His chest is here. That's that. I forgot the name of that. At this point, his hips and his feet, legs, his feet, collarbone, and his head. So because if you see more leg, he would have just leaped up. If he was already like flying, which I should have did, I should have just brought his feet back here. So it would have been more like his head, his arms, and then a little bit of the stomach, maybe a little bit of the crotch, his legs right here, just round for the legs, and then his feet, and then he would have already been flying. But anyway, this is a quick rough. So he just jumped up to start flying because, as I said, they just started running. So this guy here, he has no weapons because he's the fighter. And which leg did I have up? Doesn't make a difference. I got both legs up. I had this other leg up. So whatever. This is going to be up. Okay, this is going to be down then. So yeah, that is going to be your last page. Unless you just, have more pages to show the fight scene. All right. Let me slip something else in here. Now, I had this example sitting right next to me that I was going to use, and I never used it, so I'm just fitting it in where I can. All right, you have a position that you see that you want to use in your head. And again, let me lock my focus on this thing. All right, so you have this position that you want to use. You know you want to use this position, and now you have to find the best way to capture it, to tell the story. And as I said, this is something I did a long time ago, and I just pulled it out. Let's say the position was a guy crashing through the window. So you have the guy, he's going to be crashing through the window like this. This is going to be the position that you use. Now, you have to say to yourself, what is the best way to draw this so it will not stand out, but it will impact the reader? So I did these little 5 things here. Let me pull it down because the camera zoomed in. I did these little 5 things right here. So remember, this guy's crashing through a window. So you have the side position, you have the front position, you have more of an upper position, you have the back position, and you have a top-down position. Now, if he's crashing through a window, from the side position, you won't see what's going on, too much of what's going on. And then he's got his face covered up. And how would the window be? You'd have to have the window at a weird angle for him to jump through. That was one. Number two, now from the back here, you don't see the character's face. Now if he's making, like an entrance or something, then you kind of want to at least see part of his face. Number three is a basic on shot. You be able to see the window and he's crashing through the window. Number two, this one could look like he's jumping out of the window. So we'll go back to that one because you see his back. So usually when you see the chest, it means you're coming. If you see the back, it means he's going. Or you'd have to have a shot of other people facing forward so you can say, oh, okay, he's facing those people. So this is your front window. This is pretty good. So, you'd have your glass. You see some of your character and it looks like he's crashing through. Number four is more of an upper shot, which is still good, but being an upper shot, it looks like he's coming more downward than right at you. And then five, you overhead shot. Now it would be hard to do the window. You could just do the glass where it's coming through, but you really don't see much of the character. So out of these five, which one would you choose to be the best shot for your panel in your comic book of, say, the hero crashing through the window coming to save the day? Give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No matter what you said, it could be right because I don't know what your story will call for. But the one that I chose to say that would be the best one was number 3. Number 3. There's number 3. And the only thing I did was I twisted it to the side. Instead of being forward like that, I twisted him to the side to give him more of that dramatic look. The same way I said the car. I mean, number 3 is good, but compared to when you twist him a little bit, it gives him a little more action to it. So I just wanted to throw that in there because, as I said, I had this sitting next to me. I never looked down at it because I was going to use it. So that's one thing you're going to have to do in every panel. How can I twist my characters to look dramatic? Even with just the plain old dialogue, you want them to look dramatic. Even it could be, I'm getting married or Joe just died, whatever. A little simple scene like, oh, I have to go to work tomorrow. You want it to be as dramatic as possible. So with that said, I don't know, maybe I'll use this as a thumbnail. Speak English. As a thumbnail, we will see. All right, so back to our regularly scheduled program. So sequential art is telling a story in sequence so that we can all follow. And it doesn't have to be comic books. It could be comic strips. Anything that's going to tell a story in that sequential fashion. I'm trying to get this lined up so you can see the whole thing. So yeah, I don't know how many minutes this is. It's probably about 40 minutes because I cannot make a 10-minute video. I'm so sorry. I apologize. I cannot do it. There's a lot to learn. If you're trying to teach somebody something, there's a lot to learn. And me rambling at the end doesn't help. So, all right, that's going to be it for this. I don't know if I covered everything because I said it was an idea that jumped up into my head because somebody said, he sent me a really wonderful comment on my video and said that, I have inspired him to start doing sequential art. And I'm like, a lot of people don't know how to do sequential art. So let me kind of give them a little help, a heads up, hand to do it. So this is what this was about. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up because that's something I never say. And if I say it more, I'll get more thumbs up and views and so forth. Give me a thumbs up, give me a like, subscribe, and then tell some friends. Tell people you got any comic book friends, artist friends, tell them about my channel so I can start growing because a lot of you saying, it's underappreciated, underrated, whatever. And that's, they just, I appreciate what you're saying. So yeah, help me grow. Thumbs up, smash the subscribe and the whatever you're supposed to do. So that's going to be it because as I say, I ramble for about 2 or 3 minutes. And I will see you guys in the next video. I'm going to do some more action pose positions. It's been a minute since I got into the action pose positions. So I'm going to get back into that. So on that note, I will see you guys later.